The Chocktaws are the Chahtas. And the Chahtas were recently recognized by the local government there in Louisiana. The Chahtas. I got a whole video about how they just got recognized by the mayor down there. But look at this. It says the Choctaws. Among the new subscribers placed on our list last week is a Choctaw, or as he calls himself, a Chahtas. He calls himself a Chahtas. And this is in 1829, okay? Now, how many times can I find the word Chocktaw referred to the Choctaws in the newspaper? And you see them used interchangeably. This is the Chocktaw Almanac, and they're talking about the so-called Choctaws. And I don't know what it is with the whole using in a double way those two, but that is the original spelling. That is the original people. You see it here again in 1854, and you see the way it talks about the territories of the Chalaki or the Cherokee, what they call today, but this is the original, one of the, I don't know if it was the original, but this is one of the prior spellings or pronunciations, the Chalaki. And then there's the Muskogee, and I heard that was called Mississauga. It just kind of depends. But I'm showing you these. This is 1854, Chahtaw, Chalaki, Muskogee. I'm showing you these to show and prove that they knew this name existed. They knew this spelling existed, but they also knew that they were changing it to this. And in some cases, where this is, they may not be talking about the same. What do I mean by that? This may be the people, this may be the corporation, this may be the legislative body set up by the YTs along with the Mongolians and those others, but this may be the original people. Why would they refer to it separately or synonymously, in a sense, continuously? Here's another use of the word. And you can get all the screenshots of these and read the actual articles. At some point, I'll be going over those. But right now, I'm focusing on the fact that they utilize the spelling of the original Chahtas over and over again, okay? Especially when talking about setting up these new territories. That's especially when they start talking about how they're setting up these new governments. It's kind of funny because when they're referring to it and using it synonymously, they're going through talking about Chahtas as well as Chocktaw. But the actual person who was a Choctaw at the time of 1829, before a lot of those other ones that I showed you, they were a little bit later. This one says he calls himself a Chahtaw. So this shows you that the people themselves were referring to themselves as Chahtas, and the people who were the YTs and the government and the people who did these newspapers kept referring to them as Choctaws. Now, how many times does a man have to tell you that this is what he is, and you keep writing this? Seems to be some kind of motive. We say motive, especially when you know that the original Choctaws, who have a treaty with Spain from the 1500s, which is why they're getting recognized today, look like this. And all of her descendants and her ancestors prior looked like this, or like me.
Whereas.
Yes.
All right. So I'll start us off. Whereas what is now St. Tammany Parish is home to the descendants of the Muskegon-speaking mound builders, the Chatta and the Chafunk, also known as the Chatta Creek. And
Whereas
the Chatta encountered Europeans from Spain, France, Britain, and others, beginning in the 1500s.
Playing what I was saying? Let people be who they are, and they can grow stronger. Let's give to this younger generation their identities. I had a chance last year, haven't done nothing this year. I got so much coming at me. But the state of Louisiana do understand that our people was intentionally misclassified.
That's right.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I can say Naomi Drake did it. I was born in 1960. And in 1960, Naomi Drake was still in power, who learned from Walter Plucker. I even got in there to Walter Plucker. I was studying about Walter Plucker before there was an internet.
That's right.
What made me learn about Walter Plucker, because I knew about Naomi Drake and her case with the federal courts that was lost. And the identity of the people were found in archives who race she, misidentified. So we have the door open and have had it open for people who can prove
Yes,
like we
ma'am.
did.
That's
We
right.
didn't got our papers straight. So if you're in the box, it's called a black box in Louisiana. And literally the box is black. But his box is.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's not walk away thinking everybody of color is African American. I have no African lineage.
That's right. Yes,
But I do have that one drop French, which was a black European, Nicholas Ducree. Why did I get there? Nicholas Ducree was able to come here from France, occupy the trading post, and do business. And this once was the head of France for him. So there go two histories laughing. That's why the paper said what's going on.
Basically, without going into the story, for those who don't know, Walter Plecker was a person at the Bureau of Vital Statistics. You know, he was also part of the Anglo-Saxon Club of America, a white supremacist organization. But he wrote a letter back in the day in 1943 talking about how the Virginia Indians no longer exist, pretty much writing people out of existence, and he went around changing paperwork, all kind of stuff. You got to look up his history. But this ain't a video about him. This is a video about the fact that they have it in the newspapers. If you see Chahtas in the newspapers, it's a good indicator of what people were talking about, how they spell things, the terminologies, how they were used. It's more like the social media of the time. Yeah, you can put something in a newspaper. I mean, you can put something in a dictionary. You can give things definite meanings. But how people use those in everyday life means even more in some cases, because languages will change throughout time based upon the uses that the people have. Sometimes it won't, but looking at this, you got the Chahtas again versus the Chocktaws. So the Chahtas is the original name, so those have to be the original people. And even on the Chocktaw website today, they use the word Chahtaw, talking about they're living out the Chahtaw spirit of faith. And they talk about how living out the Chahtaw spirit of faith there, but they talk about how the Chahtaws are their ancestors. It's funny because chiefs and others look like this as far as today, but this is what they look like before, and that is what they look like then. Don't let the black and white photo fool you. That light is bright and it's kind of masking his skin tone, but that is her family member. Okay, she has direct lineage from him via paperwork and likely through DNA. So regardless of all of that, if they are the original Chahtas, and I think that either could be Pierre Jose or they could be Pushman Taha. But if they are the original Chahtas, then the Chocktaws, so-called, come from them or have been given federal recognition, and the Chahtas haven't. And that's to play that game, just like the Walter Plecker story of writing out people who look like this in favor of people who look like that guy.